Yo, what's
Yo,
going on, everybody? I know we're yeah, there we go. We got a few people stopping on in. There they go, Sky. There the numbers starting to roll up. Right now you guys just see me and Skywalker still on the screen. You guys will see Law shortly, and you will see John Machota. They're kind of rolling around at camp,
practice
doing
been
some
busy.
things. Practice has been busy. Practice has been good. So me and Sky are gonna hold it down. And I mean, you guys know what we do. So this is episode. What episode is this guy? 46. His last was 45.
46.
It's
Is it
crazy.
Alfred Morris?
Alfred Morris. Was he 46 with us?
Wasn't he? I don't know. Somebody said Rod Smith for 45 because I couldn't figure that out. So shout out to you for Rod Smith for 45. That's a good one.
Rod Smith is crazy work, and that's crazy good.
I think he was 46. Y'all let us know. Alfred Morris episode.
So some of the breaking news, Lyle Collins, Sky, before we get to the practice, this kind of just came down the pipe. This kind of just came down the pipe of the Cowboys working out Lyle Collins. He hasn't been signed. He hasn't, but the fact that he's working out with the Cowboys. I have my thoughts. I kind of want to hear yours. Is this just security? Is this it feels like it's security. I don't know if he would come in and start, but what you think of this guy?
Well, you lost a veteran, Rob Jones. And you might not get him back for the rest of the year, at the very least till November, December. So I think they're trying to replace that veteran in Lyle Collins. They're familiar with Lyle. The front office is. He's in the best shape of his life, is what his best friend Dak said. But he hasn't played since 2022, 23. I think 22, actually. So, he's probably got to knock off some rust, but I think that's what this is here. They're trying to replace the veteran presence, dare I say, of a Rob Jones. The only difference is, like, Rob could actually literally go out there and play because he played the previous year. Lyle hasn't played. So that's swapping one body for another is, I think, what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, and then I know a few people like when Tyler Smith, he went out. I've heard from everybody on the ground.
I think that's a coincidence.
Yes.
I think they already were talking to Lyle. I think it was a Rob Jones thing. I think the Tyler Smith thing just happened to happen at the same time.
And when we get John Machota on, we'll ask him about the vibe. But everything that I've heard when it comes to here goes Law. We'll get Law in. But everything that I heard.
Yeah, what up, y'all? I don't
that
know.
Law.
Am I choppy still?
You're not choppy, just a little win. How you doing, Law?
I'm doing great, man. I'm sitting here. Got me out and about with some family members of the staff, and I lost track of time. But yeah, everything looks good, bro. As far as practice. Where we at?
We kind of just got started, yeah.
Oh yeah, just not getting started.
Yeah.
I know the wind gonna be crazy right here. Hold on.
Now I'll put you on mute, and then when we get you, we'll get you to jump back in and all like that. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, how I look at it with the Tyler Smith thing, everything I know about tendonitis, you just ice it. It's nothing major, and even he walked off. But I guess when John jumps on, he could kind of let us know more about that situation. But like Scott said, guys, that had nothing to do with
Lyle.
Even people saying that Lyle got hurt today. I see a comment. No, he didn't get hurt. It's not an injury. It's just a deal. Like, it's not. But I think what it is too, guys, people are just, because of what happened to Tyler Guyton, people's like, oh, another injury or somebody's hurt. I don't think that's that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a precautionary that they took him out, and they did it. They did that with Terrence, right? Like, Terrence had a little tweak in the ankle, and they're like, whoa, let's get him out of here. This is the time to be cautious. You don't want to push these guys too much. And more injury news, they're being cautious with Savon Ravel. They're not rushing him back, according to Nick Harris. So, and this is the time to take your time and let these guys, don't push them beyond a certain point if they're dealing with something. That makes sense.
Most certainly, man. You right on the money with it. I'm looking at it like this team, on how they are handling practice, is more up tempo, is more up to speed. You can see the tenacity, you can see the efforts are out there. So they're not trying to play it safe like Mike McCarthy was trying to play it safe. And granted, I guess what we were seeing is an uptick on some injuries, but that's just the nature of this business.
Hey, Law, stay right there.
Mm-hmm.
You said that they're more into. Do you see a more physical practice? Because I think Sky, you had Vach on and y'all hit on that. I just feel like this is how football should be played. You have to harden your body. One of the issues that I had with, I won't say, I just think that in order to get in football shape, you have to get in football shape. You have to get hit. You have to roll on the ground. I saw Dak roll on the ground today. I loved it. Like, you need to get beat up a little bit. Is that what you're seeing out there?
Yeah. Mike McCarthy used to have a theme called a mojo moment. It's time for the mojo moment.
I remember.
Then they ramp up and they get everything moving. Well, this practice, everything is the mojo moment. Everything is like,
that's a bar.
Get on that field, everything is like, hey, be ready, get ready, because just what these guys are fighting for spots and roles on this team.
I said this in our group chat. Foots, Schotty comes from the school of hard knocks.
Yeah,
like he coached the other coach Schotty, Marty Schottenheimer, hard-nosed, old school throwback coach. Not saying that 60-year-old Mike McCarthy isn't an old school coach. Clearly he is, but we also know we also know Mike
Sky with the sneaky.
No, I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying, like, for real though, think about it. Marty was coaching in the 80s, fam.
Yeah,
true.
And that's where Brian, came up at. So I just think he got what's the saying? Knock off the old block. The apple didn't fall too far from the tree. Whatever ageism, quote you want to use. That's shoddy, man.
Yeah.
I think too, I think that the ability, before we get to the practice, because we got time, Scott, I think that one of the things that I'm really appreciating about Brian is his ability to stay consistent with what he's saying and who he wants to be. I think what happens with young coaches, and this is like, he's a new coach, but he's 50 years old. I mean, he's sure of himself, number one.
Very confident.
The coach is doing something every day. To some people, that's small, right? They go out there, they're doing duck, goose. No, what they're doing is they're staying consistent with, we're going to be a team that has energy. If nothing else, we should be looking for a team with great energy, with great vibes, right? With not starting games flat or not starting big games flat. Because, Scott, me, you, Law, John had big debates on during the offseason. Now we're in season. I'm in in-season mode. Law is out on the boots on the ground in in-season mode. We're ready to go. And so now in season, Sky, you can't wait till the week of to turn it up. Let's say this team does go on a run. If the coaches have had this energy all year, if they got to go to Green Bay in the cold, Sky, now they come out hot. Now, that's just my thoughts as being a coach. Like, be who you are all the time. And when it hits, they'll lose a few games. But when it hits in big moments, they'll be ready to go. So I appreciate that in the offseason when he was signed, it was, I'm going to be physical. When it's time now, I'm going to be physical. I appreciate that, Sky. I really do.
Man, I think you hit the nail on the head. I feel like, because a lot of people are saying, well, how is this going to translate? I think the tangible aspect of the game that it will translate from is getting off to quicker starts. I mean, will that translate to wins? Who knows? We'll see. But I know one thing for sure. When you are practicing this physical, you're not going to get shocked by those first few series because they're running right at you or they're out physicaling you, right? If you're coming out with energy, you're not going to get shocked when Deebo Samuels comes out with the speaker and who was it? The left tackle was coming out talking shit. You're not going to be shocked because you're matching that energy. Trent. So those two things, being physical and the energy, I feel like that can translate to at least a quicker or better start than we've seen in the past, because that's been a problem for the Cowboys.
Most certainly. And when you start adding the element of competing, right? Me and my brothers, man, even taking balling up trash and throwing it in the trash can. We ended up bowing people out the way, bowing each other out the way just to make that game-winning shot. And that's what we are seeing pieces of that out here in training camp, is that these guys are competing in such a great way that I'm going to tell you, Mingo is flashing. Trayshawn Holden is
save
flashing.
it, Law, because I want your. We want your.
My bad.
Yeah.
Because,
Please
hey,
save that. I want your thoughts. I want your thoughts. So as we wait, once John hops on, we'll do our segment for Here's Johnny. I know he has a lot on the ground. And he actually came up with the topics for today. But you know what, Law? Let's just jump right into it, because I want to ask you something. Your boots on the ground. Okay, never mind. This is what we do it for right here. Still.
Oh,
So let me drop everybody where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Hello.
John saves the day.
Hello.
What's good?
Here we
Jay?
go, John.
What's
We
going
love
on?
you, man. There we go.
Hey, man.
All right.
Hey, make this
John,
quick.
when you had John on that Law Nation side, man, Law Nation boy, you had Law Nation looking good, didn't you?
All right. Forget everything we just said. Episode 46. Here's
Johnny.
I love that drop, bro.
What's up,
Yeah.
man?
Today, man, busy day out here. So we have practice, and then that gets over, and then we have Dak Prescott on the podium, and then in a couple hours they have their yearly like media party thing at Nobu, which, I mean, you can go there and get loaded if you want and make an ass out of yourself, or you can maybe have a drink or two and retain a lot of good information. I'm going to do the latter. So I got that going on as well. But no, yeah, today's a busy day. So I will say this. My biggest takeaway from today's practice is I don't even think there's any question to it. I think today was George Pickens' best day as a Dallas Cowboy up to this point. The deep ball was there. Him and Dak, this is the best day that they've had being on the same page. CeeDee to me has been the best player throughout camp, but today was certainly George Pickens' best day, and it was a good day for the offense. Dak said that he didn't think it was his best day, but from our standpoint in the media watching it, it seemed like Dak's best day as well. But it was the first one where you're really like, oh yeah, this is the George Pickens that they were getting. Nate Thomas, I think, has been okay filling in at left tackle. Lyle Collins is working out for the team today, so that's because of all the injuries. Obviously, they're adding up on the offensive line, so it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing works out. Who else stood out?
Receivers seemed like they were, Mingo, Turpin,
Mingo for sure had one of his better days. His size was really evident on a couple like jump ball type catches.
Mingo.
Who else? There's somebody else I was going to talk about that I thought was pretty good.
Offense,
today.
defense.
I think it was on offense. Oh, Jaden Blue's been getting more work with the ones. You can tell he's coming on. That's the thing. So that report right before training camp about him, whatever, being lazy or whatever like that. So I'd never heard anything about that. But when you hear Brian Schottenheimer talk the other day about it, he was just saying how you've seen him be much more professional and taking care of business and really jumping out since they've gotten here to California. So I guess kind of it sounds like Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa both didn't really stand out to the coaching staff back in Texas. But since they've gotten here, they've really kind of been on their radar where they've really noticed. And Jaden Blue, I can tell you that actions speak louder than words, and he's getting more and more reps with the one. So clearly they wouldn't be giving that to him if they didn't think that he was worthy of it. I also wanted to add in here that, so during the morning press conference with Brian Schottenheimer, Nick Harris from the Forward Star Telegram at the very end asked Brian for players that have stood out to him. And I thought for sure Brian was going to just be like, yeah, I don't want to single out any guys, because that's usually what typically coaches do. They don't want to like single anybody out because, one, they don't want to forget anybody, but two, they don't want to put a lot of pressure on a player here or there. Brian goes, oh, hold on, let me get my roster. I'll tell you right now. And so the names he ran off, he said like the offensive line, but he didn't name any specific offensive linemen. But the 9 individual names he said were KaVontae Turpin, Miles Sander, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, Hunter Lipke, Donovan Wilson, Kyer Elam, Malik Hooker, and Maris Leafau. So that's not coming from us. It's coming from the guy that's not only calling the offense, but he's then going into meetings after where they can watch every play over and over again. And, there's some stuff that they'll do out here that frankly, they want. I mean, they told us yesterday before we started recording video, they're like, keep the shots tight because they didn't want wide angles where, you know, people can see every single thing that's going on. So it's not like they're not trying different things out here. So yeah, that's probably where I'm at right now. I'm probably forgetting something, but I'll get to it along the show.
Most certainly.
Somebody said I'm enjoying a Capri Sun on camera. I definitely am. The Skies called me out. This is one of my son's drinks, so got to go with what you can. Hey, Law. Now I want to get you to jump back on. You talked about Mingo, right?
Mm-hmm.
With what you've seen from Mingo, because I've seen like a possession guy who like with a big body who looks extremely physical. What have you seen from Mingo as I try to stay focused on Law and not the sights in Law's camera?
Hey,
okay, all right. Well,
I had to do that.
I would say this with Mingo. I think that his performance is elevated because of the simple fact that it's better than Ryan Flanoy's. In my opinion, he's more consistent than Jalen Brooks, even though Jalen Brooks in the last 2 days been kind of giving us something. But I'm just seeing down the line of what things that John just said. You can't teach size and length, and that's what he got out there on the field. He's able to position himself and be that go-to target, you know, on a slant pass or be that safety blanket for the quarterback. So that's what I'm seeing out of Mingo, and I'm seeing a tick from Trayshawn Holden, him being able to elevate too. So separating himself from the back end of the roster, that's more important than anything. So we're saying that these guys are competing, and our wide receiver core. John, can you agree with this or disagree? Do you think that the wide receiver core is the most complete unit?
For me, it's the edge rushers, but I would have wide receiver too, because to me, CeeDee's been the best, Pickens second, probably Turpin third, and fourth for me of guys that have stood out the most is probably Trayshawn Holden. Like he really hasn't had a day where he hasn't shown up. You know, he's made a play here or there. Jalen Cropper would probably be 5. He's made a lot of nice plays. Now, the thing about like a Trayshawn Holden or a Jalen Cropper when I'm saying this, like they're working with the twos, you know, so I'm not trying to just skip over Jalen Tolbert like he hasn't, but he's going against the ones. And let's be honest, he's not getting as many balls as he would be if like there wasn't George Pickens or CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have been out there. So, and then you add Jake Ferguson. But no, Turpin would be the one that's probably been third for me. But yeah, no, wide receiver group is very deep. No question about it. Holden is going to be a tough one for them. Not keep on the roster, or would not surprise me if like another team claimed him if they didn't. He's definitely got a little bit of like an it factor to him.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard cut. Whatever it's going to be hard to cut whoever it is because everybody competing. And just like you mentioned, Jalen Cropper, man, he got 9 lives. The moment you count him out, he just shows up and give you a play.
Yeah, I feel like wide receiver 6 battle was one of those battles we may not pay attention to much, but Trayshawn Holden, if he showed out, I didn't think it would be far-fetched for him to jump a Brooks and jump a Flournoy because they don't have those sponsors here anymore. And I like you said it perfectly, John. There was an it factor to his film. You know, he may not be as fast, as strong, as big as Flournoy, and he may not have the experience of Brooks, but I just feel like he's the more savvy, more confident, more dog-ish player if they are going to carry 6. So it doesn't shock me that he's kind of separating himself there. But the room in general, remember we talked about this before. Too many people were focused on tag team. They're focused on just CeeDee and Pickens. And when I took a step back, when we dropped Pickens in that room, I said, wait a minute. This thing, if you really watch, look how it's lined up. This is a really damn good room now because Pickens, I think, fixes that. Instead of saying, hey, Tolbert or Mingo has to fight for number 2, they're fighting for 3. And really, they're fighting for like the 4th option as opposed to being the 2nd option at receiver. So I love the way this room is forming. I think it complements each other too.
I think I want to say something about Holden to piggyback on what Sky's saying. Holden has he looks like he understands windows, right? Like
maturity to his game.
Yeah, like he's getting open over the middle of the field. I don't have an up top shot, so I can't see like is he setting receivers up at the top. But every catch that I'm seeing, he had the one where he tipped it, but like I'm seeing like sneaky separation as well. And that was what he was able to do at Oregon, right? And so This is cool because my whole thing is Scott just mentioned the big two. They gonna get reps. John just mentioned Tolbert, right? I don't think it's that Tolbert's not playing well. I just think that Dak probably went in today, especially and said, like, I'm gonna make sure that I'm on the same page with 3. And it looked dang going good today, John. Like he looked Dak was sharp today. I tweeted that out, like razor sharp with 3 from the 2 touchdowns to all. Like they've had a rapport, but now it looks like, oh, that red zone. Oh, I'm gonna give him a chance. The one in the back of the end zone was cool, and then not to be long-winded, but I just think that those footballs aren't gonna go to Jalen Tolbert, and they shouldn't. Now it's gonna be who can be that other receiver that can win in different ways. Because CeeDee's gonna get his. It's the same stuff we've been saying. I have to make sure that I'm on the same page with 3 with Pickens. So who's gonna be the other player? And that's what's gonna be interesting to see.
I got a thought about that after Law. Go ahead, Law.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that we all miss Michael Gallup when he was healthy. The ability to make the necessary adjustments in the air, body control, and how he contorts his body with dexterity. Where you seeing that with George Pickens, but on steroids to a degree. And I think that Dak Prescott is going to finally have him a other weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb that can do those things, which make us very dangerous as relates to their red zone. And it's going to be opening party for the other guys like a KaVontae Turpin or a Jake Ferguson with that ability to have those 2 outside wide receivers doing that.
I think CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are going to dominate the wide receiver target share. I'm talking about, and they should.
And
right?
they should. Capital
and then
S.
you got Jake Ferguson, who I think is going to dominate the tight end target share. So when I'm looking at the 3rd and 4th option or wide receivers, I'm looking at those guys as, and I'm not saying this as a knock, as the backups to a CeeDee Lamb, the backup to a George Pickens. What happens if one of those guys goes down? Can they go out and play the X or the Z or what have you? That's kind of how I'm looking at it when I take a step back. So when they're out there, though, like you said, Foots, can they be dependent on? Can they make the play? They're not going to get a lot of opportunities. I just don't see it. I can't go in healthy. Everybody's healthy. Jaden Blue is getting, some tick. KaVontae Turpin is going to be getting plays in the backfield at receiver. And we just talked about the big 3, I think, from a target share. Let's be very real here. Mingo and Tolbert and Holden, those guys may go games. They don't see a target. And would anybody be shocked? No. Right? So I'm looking at it as, if something were to happen, who can we count on to step in? And then those 1 or 2 moments you may get, can you be Seth Wilson, right? In 2019, remember Seth he didn't have a lot, but he had some moments. And then when somebody went down, 2021, bow, Seth Wilson is now a 700-yard or 600-yard receiver.
I want to ask you this, John and Law, because y'all are there. Law, you brought up Michael Gallup, and it was so funny because like people, no, and I'm gonna ask because Michael Gallup was a really good receiver. He had a 1,000-yard year. John Law, is it even comparable? Because my eyes is like love Michael Gallup, but this is a different beast. Like that 9 route he caught. There was 2 plays. This is just the nerd in me. The 9 he caught, and Israel Mukuamu was chasing him. He had the ball out. And he was running, and he was still pulling away from Mukuamu. And then the 9 today off the play action, he was literally like 4 to 5 steps in front of the defender. So you guys tell me, because y'all are boots on the ground, is it even comparable to him, or is this like this is real?
No, I mean, I think today we saw probably 3-4 catches that George Pickens had that it would take a week or 2 for you to see that many out of Michael Gallup like that. Like he could make some of those plays, but you would not see him in the consistency that we saw George Pickens make him today. And I think that's the same thing with games during the season. You could have a big game from Michael Gallup, but are you going to see it every single week? Whereas like with George Pickens, I expect to see George play at a high level every single week. That's probably the difference for me.
Most certainly. And the difference is, of course, even though Michael Gallup was good after catch, Pickens is even better. And when you start looking at anything and everything on this team, we are so locked in with this battle that it's still opening up. I saw KaVontae Turpin take the top off the defense today. You got to cover every blade of grass.
God, that's your boy.
Yeah,
Sky's been calling for that.
You got to cover every blade of grass with the Cowboys. My biggest reservation now would be the offensive line. Of course, I know I'm not trying to steer the ship as far as the conversation.
No, you good.
But just by Deuce Vaughn getting hurt, right, with the hamstring or what have you, we're seeing more Phil Maffa now. So these players that's fighting for roles, they can't afford to get hurt because you may not have your spot here available because that's how hungry these guys are.
Ooh, that's real. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, you know, I've seen an uptick in corner routes where it's like maybe they're getting so much three
overs.
Yeah, like just that uptick is like.
Did you hear of CeeDee Lamb's interview? CeeDee Lamb talked about how they're running routes they weren't really running much previously, and then Dak kind of came, behind that and said, yeah, in regards to talking about George Pickens, he's like, hey man, George Pickens can run all the routes, and that's what we're doing. He wasn't asked to do that, or he didn't get a chance to showcase it in Pittsburgh, likely because of quarterback play and scheme. So you got CD saying we're expanding our route tree. You got Pickens constantly saying he's excited about being able to show new things, and Dak then echoing their sentiments. This is going to be different, man. I called the offense last year. It was just a sharp offense, meaning everything was either straight or just sharp slants and just comeback sharp hooks, and it was just no really creative, no overs, no drags, no corners, no. It was just very bland from a pass game standpoint. Y'all are out there, John and Law. It doesn't feel like it's a bland passing game pre-snap, at least. And then post-snap, they're doing some other creative things, it seems like.
Yeah, they're definitely doing more creative things pre-snap, bringing in an extra tackle, having the tackle sometimes line up out wide and then motion inside, the extra swing tackle, little things like that, you just really haven't seen the Cowboys do very much in the past. But for me, I think even if you just ran a boring scheme, if you tell me you're going to give me 17 games with CeeDee Lamb on one side, George Pickens on the other, it's going to be pretty exciting because even if maybe the route, that doesn't get you open, the talent will. So the talent is clearly there. I wrote this morning about how, after today's practice is the halfway point in terms of practices out here in California. And you see things on the internet of people talking about who's having the best camp and who's whatever. To me, it's not even debatable. It's CeeDee Lamb. He's just been
MVP.
Been awesome.
I was working on content and he's at the top of my list right here. He's the best player here.
And you can sit there and say, oh, well, he's been one of the top receivers in the league. So that's what you should be expecting or whatever. But I'm saying even with those expectations, he's showing up and I think he's had maybe one drop all camp, and if that, and just anything that's near him, he's coming down with. And that, I just keep going back to last year, this time, not having him out here and how much more, boring the offense was. And then when he did get back, when we got back to Frisco, and it was just it was there, but it wasn't where it needed to be. Whereas right now, they don't need to do any preseason games. He can be, especially for CD and Dak, do the Rams practice. That's fine. They'll be ready to go. And especially, I feel that way even more today after seeing how Pickens was. Have him do something similar against the Rams in that practice, and that would be good enough for me.
I just need to see Pickens during that Rams practice just try to maul somebody's face. I just want to see a crazy Pickens one time to make sure we ain't completely lose that, because we're gonna need some of that on game day. I don't want him to get super nerfed and he's out there, yes sir, no sir, shaking guys' hands. Nah, I want you mugging these dudes' faces and bringing that aspect on game days, because we ain't had enough of that, bro. We ain't had enough of that. That's all. Don't get the 15-yard penalty, but we in practice, so you can do that in practice. But I need to know we still got that edge. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, real quick on that one. Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing for us to see Schottenheimer. Because these fights have been kind of getting chippy, and then all of a sudden yesterday he ends practice early and has the guys get on the side and run, and he's taking guys out if they've done that stuff. There's a pretty notorious story from last year when Dak threw an interception in practice, and when Brian was the offensive coordinator, even though he wasn't calling plays, he pulled Dak out for a rep, and Dak was super pissed about it, and they got a little bit of argument about it or whatnot. And the Pickens one's going to be the interesting thing. If something like that happens in a game or whatever, is he taking him out a rep? Like, what is he doing? Because that's the thing. If you're going to do these for the other guys, if they're not doing that stuff, are you going to do that with Pickens too? Now, frankly, I don't care because I am 100% team treat players differently. Like I treat my stars differently. Jimmy Johnson did, and I'm just fine. Seemed like he did a good job coaching the Dallas Cowboys. So I am all about that. I mean, even when it comes to the media stuff too, like I don't care. Like when the top players will blow us off or something like that. It's when the like second level guys where you're just like how long do you think
you might
doing this?
I was about to say you might not be here next week.
Like you should be happy that anybody wants to talk to you. We don't really deal with much of that, but over my like 15 years covering the team, that happens from time to time where I'll just be like, cool, don't talk. I don't need to talk to you. There's 10 other guys. It's the Dallas Cowboys. It's fine. But I'm a big believer in that because I don't think it's high school football where you treat everybody the same. But I'm interested to see how Brian Schottenheimer handles a situation like that. If you see any of what happened in Pittsburgh, like let's just say the Cowboys game, grabbing Jordan Lewis by the face mask, stuff like that. You get the penalty and all that stuff. How is Schottenheimer going to handle that stuff?
If it's during the game, I hope he don't take him out.
Yeah,
you can just talk to him, but we're gonna need you in there. The practice, maybe take him out.
Hey, I want to ask John a question and the panel a question about CeeDee, because I said he's been the MVP, and I said he's talked like an MVP, he's walked like an MVP, he trained like an MVP, he looks strong, he looks locked in. When you talk about the 88s, Irvin and Dez, I remember when he went for 900. Pearson. Sorry, Scott.
Can't leave our original.
Antonio Bryant.
We can leave him out.
Okay, sorry, go on.
We don't have to make this a long because we got a lot to get to. Reveal a few things. But I want to ask you this, guys. Could CeeDee Lamb, if he goes on a 3-year tear of 1,500 this year, 12 and 12, he's only 26. Could he be the best 88 in Cowboys history?
Not without a championship. He needs a ring.
Gotta have the ring, man.
Yeah, you asking the wrong person. Mike is my favorite player.
Yeah.
The only reason why I love CeeDee Lamb so much is because here's why I'm gonna push. I'm gonna just push a hair, Sky. What he does after the catch, and I think how he's gonna be used this year in those quick games and like the way he trains. If they for some reason they ever won one, man, I love the way that dude plays football. That's just me. You know what I mean? So I just want to ask.
Yeah, you got to win some. I don't even know if one's enough. You might got to win some because, look, from a talent standpoint, 88 will probably tell you, Dez is better than me from a talent standpoint. CeeDee is better than me from a talent standpoint. But what Irv brought to the team was beyond just the talent. Yes, he was super talented, right? But he also brought the leadership and the intensity, and that aspect actually helped win. And what have we were talking behind the scenes today, but we've been saying this publicly too. What have you been saying about CeeDee? Hey, dog, that pouting stuff, man. Hey, man, we need you to, you ain't never have to think about that for no damn Michael Irvin.
He cuss you out before he pout.
I mean, so it's hard for me to ever put anybody above that 88 unless they come with some championships, man. And if he develops into that type of leader where it's not just, the talent, but your talent and intangibles are helping get the team over the hump. Irvs did that.
Yeah, I think that the most complete 88, don't shank me with the butter knife, guys, it had to be Dez Bryant because of the simple fact that this 88, Dez Bryant, he never really had another opposing threat on the other side of the field. Terrence Williams, we had Kelvin Ogletree or Sam Hurd. I don't know if Sam Hurd was there when he was there, or Roy Williams. So this Dez Bryant probably will be the most complete 88, the most talented one, but the one without the ring, unfortunately. But CeeDee Lamb got the ability to trump all of that if he just get one ring. I think that would be the situation for that.
Yeah, he's got the ability to be the most talented 88, sure. But I won't put him, I can't put up the best 88 or anything above Michael Irvin just because of the rings.
Yeah.
And Michael was the biggest part.
But I will say, I don't think he needs 3 though either, because if you just had CeeDee Lamb like be the focal point, because to me, Emmett was number 1 on those Cowboys teams. If you had CeeDee be the focal point, and a 30 31, 32-year Super Bowl drought.
Yeah, I was just about
that
to
would
say,
jump him up real
CeeDee.
quick.
Yeah, the drought might help CeeDee.
Yeah.
Man, it was a bit of a drought. It was 77, right? To 92. About the same drought, but
yeah,
but
that's about half the drought.
Not about half the drought.
Half the drought.
Hey, Sky, you was about to say something. Somebody said.
Oh yeah, King Morty Star said playmaker might stab you before he pouts. Straight up.
He might do something else after the game. But anyway, let's move on from that. I want to say this. Can we commend John's end zone camera work? He reads the quarterback like a book.
Hey John, you better be careful. The Cowboys might try to hire you as a new videographer, man. The way you killing it right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. A lot of reps, man. High volume shooter.
Hey, John is
we got Kyle Korver over there in the corner.
Yep.
I'm telling you, he sit back. Let's get claps in the W's in the chat for John Machota, the shooter. All right, here we go. Let's talk about some standouts that we've seen. So this is what I want to do. We're at the halfway point. Let's just go around and from today was a really good practice. So you could talk about what you saw today and just give me a name that you like, man. I get it. I see it. And we'll kind of all confirm to see maybe not. For me, Jaden Blue, you talked about it, John, but I think I want to harp back on some of just the runs that I see from a film standpoint, a scheme standpoint. One thing I didn't see Jaden Blue having is the vision that he's running with. Mm-hmm. Now, is that coaching? Is that they're showing him the little nuance of the game? Because, the NFL coaching and Clayton Adams, I know just hearing Clayton Adams talk, he's going to go in and tell him, listen, on this run, I'm telling you what I want it to be is duo, hit it out the back door. If you don't like it front side, you have the film. And he's a very sure of himself coach. I feel that with Clayton. So I know in those meetings, it's this is what I want. Don't do anything else. Because I know, you had a speed and we'll get to that point of your creativity. So Jaden Blue is the one for me, John. And you guys confirm, you guys good with, because I just feel like what he's done with his opportunities, I'm starting to be Scott, we talked offline. Is this Bucky Irvin? Maybe.
Man, I would love if that's the case because I think Law is muted.
Law, I think you're muted. You got to unmute yourself, buddy.
Maybe he's having a side conversation.
Oh my bad.
Yeah, you got it. I tried.
No, I agree. I will say I agree with you though, because my thing is with him is I just feel like if you're doing a chart on since they drafted him, I'm not going to say it was a negative at minicamp and OTAs, but it was just kind of a straight line. But these last few practices, especially since the pads have come on, and he's getting these opportunities with the ones, the arrow is going up. I still would have Miles Sanders ahead of him as the guy that I think will probably start the season getting a little bit more opportunities. But I'm certainly in the camp of thinking that, a few games in, maybe a month in, Jaden Blue just takes a bigger chunk of the offense. Because if he can click on all this stuff and he's got the playbook down, he just seems like a great complement to all this different moving pieces of Turpin and Ferguson and Lamb and Pickens and all that. You just have a lot of different things to pick from. So, yeah, no, Jaden Blue is a great one for sure.
Yeah, Jaden Blue, for one thing, I can tell you, he haven't put the ball. John, I don't know if you count it yet, but he haven't put the ball on the ground yet, did he?
No, not that I've seen, no.
And what intrigues me is that the kid can run in between the splits. He's not afraid. I didn't see that out of him.
No, same, Law.
Yeah. And on the high end, he could be a Chris Johnson for us. Y'all remember Chris Johnson?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, you remember Chris
Johnson.
Can be
that, if he can be
half of what Chris did.
Well, I think the thought is this.
That's a good
from Texas. I mean, they're very similar. I mean, Charles, I think, was a little bigger.
Yeah.
But I mean, slender guys, speed guys, right, Law? Guys you wouldn't think, run between the tackles. But I personally, look, I get it. We didn't see him go in an A gap, B gap, all year. But I did see him put that foot in the ground and go when it was a runway there for him. And I think this scheme is going to give him that, this blocking scheme, this run scheme. And it's just about confidence and picking up the details for Jaden Blue. I wanted to mention, John, when you brought up the lazy thing with the guy said or whatever. From what I was told, what the coaches were saying was it had nothing to do with that, number one. It was about him not really getting the playbook. Because you mentioned that at the end just now. You said if he gets the playbook, that is something where Brian Schottenheimer was like, he's getting it. I think that's what he's talking about. And he's finally picking up the playbook some. And maybe some of those little nuanced details he may not have because he's a rookie and Sanders does. But the Bucky Irvin trajectory comp would be fantastic for the Cowboys. Like if it takes a committee, if it takes, 2 or 3 guys, and then by week, whatever, 5, 6, 7, 8, he's like, okay, that's our lead guy, but we're not going to run him into the ground, but he's going to be the guy that we feature week in, week out, and then everybody else kind of eats off of him. That's what happened in Tampa. Bucky took it. He was the guy, but they still were getting White involved. They even got the third guy involved so that they weren't overdoing it with Bucky because he is smaller in stature.
Yeah, and I think that the thought for me is teams go in respecting CeeDee and Pickens. And so if you have a faster back that I love the way he's hitting the hole. Like, hey, run fast as you can and get us these tough yards, and the big runs will come. I think so many backs early on, especially when they get in the league, have to understand, like, hey, man, this ain't college. You're not going to be able to outrun said DN or said backer. You're going to have to take what's blocked. And I think he's done a great job of that. Like, let's press the hole first, then let's sneak out the back door. So that's just, I feel good about that. Sky, who's a name for you that either you saw today or you've seen throughout? That's just like, is this real or not? And we'll all confirm.
I feel like we're just low-hanging fruits here, man. Well, real or not, or just in general, because KaVontae Turpin, I just feel like it's the easy one here. But
no, you can stay there.
It just feels like, y'all, this is going to be more than just, hey, we're going to give him a handoff here. Hey, we're going to give him an end around here. Hey, he might throw the ball here. So a lot of fans were like, wide receiver 3. I think he's not a traditional receiver, so I don't really see them doing a bunch of traditional things with him consistently. So I'm looking at him as X Factor 1 on this team. Like, when they need to dial something up, it may not be a trick play. It just may be, hey, the defense is cheating over this way, or they're paying attention to X, Y, Z. This is Turpin's time, and the pun intended. So Turp to me just feels like, yeah, I mean, this is going to be CeeDee, and Lamb. I'm sorry, CeeDee and Pickens. But KaVontae Turpin and Jake Ferguson are going to be those guys that they're just going to be battling it out for third share.
Just to echo that, Sky, on Turpin, just to see him line up in the backfield, we know good and well he had no business to be a running back, but it keeps the defense honest.
Yeah,
because you still got to respect him as a receiver or catching the ball in the flat. So I think that they, like you said, he is the ultimate weapon X.
I keep calling when I say that Turpin is an elite gadget player, I feel like people get offended when you use the term gadget. I'm not doing that in an offensive way. He is. If you look up the definition of gadget, bro can do everything. Like, he can do everything for you. So I think they should, that should be a compliment. Jack of all trades type. I'm excited to see what they do with him, man. So he'd be my guy.
I think
they had a crazy package. Let me just put this out there. They had Pickens line up as the X. Then they had CeeDee line up in the slot.
Was this the trips?
Yeah, the trips, and they moved Turpin close to the like he's damn near playing the wide. I'm sitting there like, wow.
Oh, they put him as the number 3 receiver. Yeah.
How about this?
How do you go out there though?
How about this one? I saw the play. Turpin and Blue were in there at the same time, and Turpin goes on like a jet motion, right? At snap motion, jet bow. They look Turpin's way. Defense obviously has to respect it. They go the opposite side to Blue. They throw kind of a swing to Blue
speed out there
with elephants on parade now. Like, what do you do? Like, as a defender, you see Turpin flying across, you got to honor it. But then you got this speed demon in the back catching the swing pass. I mean,
so think about that. That's Blue, Turpin, and CeeDee on the field. 3 demons with the ball in their hand. 2 that I mean, if you clock Turpin, I think he's a 4-3, 4-4 guy. Easy. I mean, that shows up on tape.
Yes.
And CeeDee, we know what he can do after the catch. That's tough on the defense. And I think that amount of creativity. So I think it's sustainable, Sky, especially if the key for me will be, can Brian Schottenheimer get those things in, right? Can he get those plays in within the flow of a game, right? When he's calling his game, can somebody nudge him and say, hey, don't forget about Turbo? Does he have it written down on his play sheet? Like, hey, You know, if things stall out, hey, put Turpin in the backfield. If things stall out, hey, put him as the number 3 and run that corner route and run double slants or something like. Because that corner. Another thing is this: if he's gonna have those receiver chops, you have to. He's too explosive.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I
love
think
what Dre said,
cool.
bro. Pull that up. Dre said, "Batman ain't without his gadgets. Put some respect on gadgets." Woo.
Oh wow, let me dang,
like
that's a good one right there.
That's a good one. Batman needed that belt.
Needed gadgets.
See, Batman the one that needs the cape. Superman don't.
Good one, Dre. Hey, John, who's the name for you, buddy, that we think is real, that you've seen either today or we're at the midway? So, you know.
So to give you one that we haven't mentioned at all, I'm going to say, just because the way these practices are structured, these guys aren't obviously tackling to the ground. So it's a tough spot for like defensive tackles and linebackers and safeties to really stand out. You know, they're not making the huge hits, a lot of the big plays that the offense can make in space or the corners can make in space. We'll see more of that obviously when there's in the preseason and then obviously the practice with the Rams. But even without that, this is as good as I've seen Malik Hooker. Picked off a pass the other day with one hand. So yeah, you know, the coverage part, it looks like, you know, what we've seen in the past, but then just coming up and run support too. He's had some really nice plays the last few days. And again, he was one of the names that Brian Schottenheimer mentioned when he was asked players that have stood out. And so Malik Hooker for me is somebody out of the guys that aren't the obvious ones or the guys that we've mentioned already.
It's dope to mention Malik Hooker. Hooker is doing his thing. I think that we get a real evaluation of Elam next week when we go up against the Rams. If they have Devontae Adams, I don't know if Puka Nacua is going to be out there on the field.
He's out there.
But
he's been practicing. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a treat next week then because we're going to get a real evaluation of this DBs outside of Elam and Bland. We will see exactly what this DB class is all about.
I tell you what, another not just an evaluation with the DBs, but the defense in general, because I said this before about, you know, Cowboys going up against the McVay type offenses, the struggles. We're running a McVay type offense. So when they're doing these pre-snap shifts and all this and horizontal and overs and stuff, hopefully the defense has seen enough of it against their own offense that they're not caught by surprise and getting worked. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, another honorable mention, you know, I think Maris Luafau, for what I've seen, has been in position a lot now.
Taking advantage of Murray being.
Yeah, Scott. And then it's like, you know, he can't tackle to the ground a lot. So when he looks good running around out there, John, I think that's very astute with Hooker. I saw a play the other day, and it did look good with Terrence Steele pulling, but I saw Hooker. I tweeted this. I said, bro, did y'all see Hooker run the alley and like fit up? Like he was shot out of a cannon. Like if he's gonna play like that, but I mean, Scott, he was in Eberflus's scheme in Indianapolis,
rookie or second year player, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that this really does suit him well. All right, for this last 10 minutes, guys, what I want to do is I came up with a ranking. And I'm actually gonna do content on this, but I want you guys to fight me on this ranking. Okay. These are my 10 winners from camp so far, and chat could jump in. Law, you could stop me, but this is how I ranked it. And this isn't the 10 best players. These are the 10 players who have looked the best at camp.
Okay.
Now, in Law, you kind of already said something about Kyrie Elam. I'm going to tell you right now, he's my number 2. So Here we go. CeeDee Lamb 1. Kyrie Elam 2. George Pickens 3. Donovan Ezaraku 4. Tyler Smith 5. Cooper Beebe 6. Dak Prescott 7. Now, and I'm going to preface this with Dak. We haven't seen Dak, and Dak is our quarterback. It's not. We haven't seen him look this as sharp as he's looked today. He's had a few picks. The deep ball's been in, but today
and deep ball the last couple practices, deep ball hitting.
Yeah, the deep ball is definitely hit. So I got him at 7. Sky Jaden Blue 8, because we got to remember early on he had that long catch, falling on the ground. Like he's done some things. Joe Milton 9, Malik Hooker 10.
Did you have Turpin in there?
I didn't.
Oh, I would put Turpin in there.
Okay.
That's the only. I mean, not only, but that's definitely the big.
No, talk about it. Talk about it. Who would you take out for Turp, Sky?
Probably Milton.
Okay.
And that's not a knock on Milton. I think we're seeing some positive things, but from listening to some folk, it's the arm looks great, but we're still working on the getting through the reads and some accuracy consistencies. Which again, Milton is not. Milton has to go in there. It's going to be fun. You might win some games off athleticism, but he is still a developmental quarterback. So this is not to say I'm still excited about Joe Milton, but I probably would swap him out. That's about it.
Yeah, I'd have Turpin and I'd have Hunter Lipke above Joe Milton.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Hunter
that's a
Lipke.
good one.
Lipke's a good one.
Tell me why.
They're using them. Yeah, they're just using them in so many different ways. The confidence.
I gotta use check, baby.
Yeah, the confidence that Schottenheimer has in him is very evident. I mean, just lining them all over the place, playing some tight end, and just like little things that Schottenheimer's talked about him doing. And just honestly, the actions speaking louder than words. Just how much he's been out on the field, like and I just haven't noticed really any negative plays with him. They did have a nice play today where he was running with the twos and he rolled out to the left, and it was just a designed run with Joe Milton, but it looked like Milton was going to drop back, and it was set up for Hunter Lipke to get out wide and basically be like his lead blocker. I'd like to see that one in one of the preseason games, just see how that turns out. But yeah, no, Joe Milton, he's been fine, but I don't think that he would be a standout yet, just because there's been times where he's held onto the ball too long, and there's just been a lot of stuff like getting up to the line of scrimmage, them having to start the play over, and little things like that they would be penalties in games, but here you just kind of go back, rehuddle, get the play again, stuff like that. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't have him there. He's not having a bad camp. I wouldn't have him in the
because I was going to ask you too. It has been nice to be able to evaluate the backup receivers. And I think Joe Milton has made some throws, but that's fair. He's definitely holding the ball.
He's been gunning the rock.
All those throws that Trayshawn Holden's been catching are all from Joe Milton. And Cropper. I'm trying to think who else. He's had a couple nice ones to Mingo. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if you threw Joe Milton in with the ones and you had him throwing to CeeDee and to Pickens, they wouldn't be making some catches off the passes that he's throwing. I mean, he's got a great arm. Don't get me wrong. It's just that knowing the offense, that command of the offense and stuff like that, like you could just tell he still has a little ways to go on that.
Yeah, and I'll do like some honorable mentions like Marshawn Nealon, as well as 99, Perrion Winfrey. Them two boys, they were not on your top 10 list, right?
No, I actually do have so my honorables. I have Maris, Nate Thomas, Steele, and Perrion Winfrey. Yeah, and I got Perrion from Sky and Botch's show. They were really high on him. And
if we were to do one that had the biggest growth from 1 year to the next,
that's a good one, though.
You have to put in Maris Learfowl in there. I think that he's not hesitating. He's running. He's flying. It's cool to see him point out things, man, sliding adjustments. I think Maris Learfowl is going to really shine this year. If healthy.
So I think he is taking huge advantage of not having Murray there, because coming into this thing,
Murray's been out. Yeah,
Murray's been out. Coming into this thing, Murray and Sanborn kind of had it on lock, but it's been Sanborn and Learfowl, and you heard Coach Flus speak very highly of Sanborn. As one of the guys. So now it's and we're hearing some good things about Damone. Look, this is what happens when you bring in Flus, who's a linebacker whisperer. These linebackers seem to be more linebackery. And I know that might, what the hell are you talking about? Bro, we barely had linebackers for like 2-3 years. You know what I mean? In all seriousness, though, you got legitimate backers and you got a legitimate linebackers coach. I don't know if y'all remember the linebackers coach in the previous years. It was not all hunky-dory.
Yeah, so just because you brought that up, Law, I would say out of all, I mean, I think a lot of these guys look like making second-year jumps. Before the injury, I would have said the same thing about Tyler Guyton. Before the injury,
Guyton might have been, yeah.
I would have said the same thing before the injury about Brevin Spann-Ford. Sky, Sky, you already said Cooper Beebe. That's a good one. You guys just said Maris Learfowl. Yeah, Marshawn Nealon. So yeah, no, there's definitely
a big jump.
Few guys, yeah.
You know what I like about Nealon is I feel like he knows who he is in his game, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, Donovan Ezaraku's up here on this list because I think Donovan Ezaraku has things that Nealon just will never be able to do. And that's okay, right? Like he has the ankle flexion, Sky, and the bend, and Like he had that rush today, bro, on Steele. It's just like that's just big time stuff.
His moves look so veteranish. Like you shouldn't have that deep of a bag as a rookie. You absolutely should not.
That's natural, bro. And I think that, you know, so Nealon will never have those rushes. I just got to tell you. But what Nealon can do is push the pocket, be great against the run. You know, do the things. He's a very aware player. He can be I'm not going to see calling somebody a hustle guy, John. It's like, oh, well, he doesn't get sacks. No, like that's
he has a motor. He has a motor.
Yeah, motor's more our scouting term, right? This guy. The interesting thing will be when Micah gets back and you see easy, because to me, where I'm at, John, and you can confirm this, as a Rock who's going to get reps. Like it's just too obvious.
So, yeah, bro, he's been going so hard, and it's not a knock on a dude. I just forgot about Dante Fowler. Like I don't know what he's doing. Like, y'all tell me, but I just completely forgot because Easy E, man, just looking crazy out there.
Let's get a little negative. We're too nice. All right, let's get negative. Mazi Smith, John. Of course, the rep went out. The rep of Tyler Smith just bulldozing him off the line. You know, a few people put out, well, okay, slow down. He's had some good reps. From your and we'll end with this. From your guys' perspective, boots on ground, because nobody's been higher on Mazi than me, but I am ready to throw in the towel. I just the weight and now I don't.
He said he had 310 now. So
his weight.
Sky,
his weight
I'm done.
His stuff.
I'm done, Sky. Sky, I'm done, bro. I'm done.
I've never seen somebody that every time you talk about him, it goes anywhere from 300 to 330, and I'm talking over the last 3 years, where some people say, and then today he's saying he's 310 to 315. I don't notice any major difference. You know, I'm not looking for him to have this big breakout year. I think he'll be pretty similar to what he's been. I think it's just about how does Matt Eberflus use his skill set. Can Matt Eberflus find a way to get some production out of him that Zimmer and Quinn weren't able to? Maybe that happens, but I wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't. I haven't seen a lot there, but again, I think going against the Rams, being a guy that I would anticipate playing in the preseason, those will probably tell us more than these practices. But I haven't seen anything yet to where I was like, oh yeah, you know, I think that he's taken this like major leap.
Most certainly, I can echo the same thing. I think it's going to be more of when we see Mazi going up against the Rams, we will make that conclusion that, I mean, it is for what it is. I hate to say it, y'all.
Listen to y'all.
I'm already, I got exactly what I wanted, Sky, the truth.
And
from
this
John
is
and from
no joke. This is about the fifth or sixth person, because I specifically wanted to ask Boots on Grounds, because I'm like, okay, somebody told me, okay, let me ask this person. Y'all are saying the same thing.
Let me tell you about what we do in this business. Well, I was talking about the other day with Todd Arch. Let me kick my feet up here. We
got Johnny in his bag.
Like, I love how when players will say, like, players lump us in as reporters that ask these questions, like we're all the fans that are on social media. They don't see any difference. And so they'll like talk like that. We just like rip them all the time. I'm going to tell you this right now. Like,
focus. Not the
I'm scared.
We mainly, what we're doing is if you play well, we will write that you played well.
Right.
If you play bad, we write that you played bad. And I think what happens is that you come from high school and college and no one's really, you know, that's just not the way you cover high school and college. So when you get to the pros, when you don't do anything, and especially when you're drafted high or you're a lot of money spent on you in free agency or a lot's given up to trade for you, like people are going to be critical. But I can tell you the reason I bring this up is if there was just a rep, one rep where he wrecked shop, Cowboys first round pick, you don't think that thing's owning the internet?
That's true, John.
52 bad reps, one that just went off. That thing would be going crazy. People would be talking about how great, you know what I'm saying? Just one.
No, John, keep going. I can't, no.
One time. I saw little glimpses of it these last couple of years against the Giants. Like, he's had good games and people have like talked about, and then the next team comes and then you just don't see it. So it's like, it's not like us that cover the team, we're just trying to be negative. It's like when there's nothing there that's like really jumping out, I'm not going to just make stuff up and be like, oh yeah, no, there's a major jump coming. Like that. It's not. Why would I lie about that? There's
and that's what I've been saying to people. Like, why do y'all want people to lie to make you feel better? Nobody wants him to go hard more than me. To go look at me and Foot's reaction when he was drafted, bro. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. So I wish the rep that came out with him and Tyler Smith never happened, because I think people are acting like everybody's just saying that's why he's been bad. But so when I'm talking to everybody there, they're like, no, he's just not been good at camp. He's quite literally Toia, Winfrey, Solomon Thomas, all these guys have had much, much better camps than him. And y'all, and they want us to like big up. I can't big him up yet until he gives us a reason to do so. The rep that people are trying to throw around today, when he disengaged with Tyler Smith, yes, he threw Tyler Smith after the fact. Did you see how slow he got off the ball, y'all? They ain't talk about that. That's the thing that makes me feel very down, is that you can't coach that up from him. Clearly, y'all. Facts. Clearly,
there's 3 different staffs.
They cannot get him to be. What did Matt Eberflus say at the podium? Yeah, man, we got to work on his quickness. We're trying to get him to be quicker for our scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you play in a 2-gap scheme, a penetrating scheme, or whatever scheme. You got to get your ass off the ball.
Got to.
You have to. And Mazi just can't. You got to play with leverage. And Mazi is struggling with consistency with that. There's not a person in the world that wants him to snap more than I do, because we need it. But I can't lie, man. And clearly nobody down there is lying either, man. He's just not having a great camp. Perion Winfrey is outperforming him.
He is. So, I would say this, though, in departing. At least we ain't like the Washington Redskins or the Washington Commanders now. Pardon me. Because they got problems over there. Terry Scary talking about getting trade. He won't trade, man. So we okay.
We got our own contract over here. We dealing with him.
Hey, I wanna put a bow on this and then let you guys go. That's what you get from the Cowboys Collective, y'all. If we weren't telling you the truth, I wouldn't want you to listen to us. So what John just said and what Sky just said, I don't think there's a media group that's actually nicer than the Cowboys reporters, like the ones you should be listening to. Everybody's been patient. John, we had 46 shows. You can go back in those shows and hear John talking calmly about, okay, you get his staff a chance. But brother, time ticking. Like, you ever seen an hourglass in the sand, and it's, bro, you getting down, and at the end of the day, Aaron Whitecotton is known for getting the most out of D linemen. But I tell you this, I appreciate the fact that Jay Toia is getting first team reps, because it lets me know that these guys are evaluating this crap fairly. Just because Foots and Sky like Mazi doesn't mean he should play. If he's not good enough, don't put him out there. This is why Sky's doing videos on going to get one Texan. Don't put him out there just because he's our guy. If we need to abandon ship, and I'm one of those people that I try to use the everything of it, but at this point, bro, if he can't play, he can't play.
Listen, we ain't got time to play around.
Not this year.
Like, you ain't got time to play around. If he can play, get his ass out there. If he can't, get somebody out there that are better. It's just that simple to me, man. So, and right now,
and this coaching staff didn't draft him, so I don't think that they'll feel like they absolutely have to get him out there. If he's not getting anything done, then you gotta do what you gotta do.
He has two chances to shut all this down. Joint practice and preseason. I think they're going to be key for Mazi. I don't think they're cutting Mazi. I'd be shocked if that happens. But from a depth standpoint, you could see more Solomon, more Winfrey, maybe even more Jay Toia, or they go get a veteran guy. But
hey, what a great show, guys. I'll let you guys go, John. I know you got to roll. Law,
right.
Thank you for everything you've done. Boots on the ground. We will see you guys next week. Love you all. Peace.
All right. Peace.